Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. We just wrapped up UFC 275. Jiri Prochazka shocked the world by submitting Glover Teixeira in the last round of their 5-round war to become the new UFC light heavyweight champ. Zhang Weili wins the rematch with Joanna by way of spinning backfist, and Valentina Schevchenko retains her title by split decision against Taila Santos. UFC 276 takes place on July 6th and features 2 title fights. Isreal Adesanya defends his UFC Middleweight title against Jared Cannonier, and Alexander Volkanovski puts his featherweight title on the line against Max Holloway in a trilogy that you won't want to miss. Daniel Cormier said in a recent interview with the Mac Life that he does not believe Stipe Miocic will get past Jon Jones at heavyweight. He talks about his last fight with Jones in the rematch and how he did everything possible to win, but Jon still ended up getting the W.
When I lost to Jon Jones, I did everything in the rematch and in the first fight, and I lost, right? I did everything possible in that rematch to win, and the dude still got me. You know, and if we didn't have all the tied to the match, he could have walked away with possibly the greatest victory of his career, because I gave my absolute best in training, in preparation. I was as sure about myself going into that fight as I've ever been. Stipe Miocic, very, very good, but I couldn't do all the things that I did for those Jones fights. I feel like if I fought Stipe Miocic as prepared as I was in the second fight with Jones, I never would lose to him. I don't feel that way with Jones. I know that I still believe I would win fights, but I do believe that he could win fights. I do feel like if I was prepared to the best of my ability, I would never lose to Stipe, and I really respect Stipe. I just think that the matchup is not good for him. Great fight. I'm excited about it, but I don't know if when I look at these two, if Miocic gets past Jones.
Dana White talks about Amanda Nunes' rematch with Juliana Pena and how hard it is for multimillionaires to be the hungry fighters they once were.
You know, the history that I have with Juliana, the history that I have with Amanda, and who they both are as fighters. I mean, Juliana is a woman who has believed in herself since day one and always knew that she was going to be a world champion, and did it by beating Amanda Nunes, which is absolutely crazy. So the rematch should be fun. You know, the question is for Amanda, and this is what happens to all fighters. You know the big narrative: we don't pay anybody. Amanda's rich. Amanda is a multi-millionaire who is now at a completely different financial status. She has a baby now. You know, her life, she's not that hungry savage she was, you know, when she started to take this run at becoming a world champion. A lot of that factors in. And now Juliana's at a place where she beat her. Juliana's starting to see a lot of the things that come along with being the world champion now. You know, financially, popularity as you get out in the world and start doing that belt is the key that opens a lot of doors. Yeah. So you know, I'm sure she wants to get to that Amanda Nunes level financially and everything else. So all that stuff factors into the fight. Yeah. And those are all questions I can't answer.
Dana also responds to reports that he was ignoring Khabib Nurmagomedov's text about Islam Makhachev fighting Charles Oliveira for the title.
I interviewed Khabib not that long ago, and he said that for the first time ever since he's known you, you didn't respond to a text message that he sent you. Did you hear about this?
No.
He said that he texted you, Dana, Islam Makhachev has to be the next #1 contender. It's a 10-fight win streak, 11-fight win streak. It's the only fight to make. There's no other fight you can make. And he said that he saw that a little red message came up, and you didn't respond. It was the first time ever in the history.
So what he's saying is I read the message, but I didn't respond to it.
That's what he's saying, yeah.
Well, it was nothing personal. It was nothing, yeah. I got him and Ali all over me about Islam.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what are you telling him? Is there any answer yet?
There's no answer, no. You know, I wanted to do that fight with him and...
Recently, Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith previewed Paddy Pimblett's next fight with Jordan Levitt on July 23rd at UFC London. They also discuss how tough the fighters are that Paddy has faced in the UFC so far and what they believe his career will look like.
I do know Jordan Levitt. I think that's a pretty good jump in competition for Paddy too. I think the one criticism I think you see online, I think the guys he's fought have been pretty tough. Especially that Brazilian cat Luigi, trained here at Factor X for a while. Really, really tough guy. I've watched him train a lot. So I thought that was a really good win. He just doesn't have the name. I think Jordan Levitt's got a little bit of a name. He's got some good wins under his belt as well. And I think he creates a different problem for Paddy because Paddy is, I think so far he's had the grappling advantage going into all of his fights. And, he's a little bit wild and crazy on his feet and kind of fearless, which gives him an advantage in some of those spots. But I think Jordan Levitt has the ground, I think he's got the grappling advantage in that fight. So I think that we're going to see Paddy have to kind of check down to some more tools that he has.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I think he's got the grappling advantage. I mean, we're allowed to have a difference of opinion. I mean, he's good. Jordan Levitt is primarily just a grappler. For anyone that doesn't know, he's not, he's not the most well-known fighter. 10-1. His big win came over Matt Wyman. Matt Wyman was they clinched up. Jordan Levitt jumped up guard in his midsection. And it was really cool and creative what Jordan Levitt did. So if you imagine he's got his arms wrapped around Jordan Levitt, Matt Wyman's right. Jordan Levitt, hold on. Matt Wyman pulled guard on him, but standing facing him. Jordan Levitt put his forearm over his face and then slammed him down, knocked him unconscious. It was awesome. Since then, and then he lost one, but then he's won his last two. So it'll be an interesting matchup. If it goes to the ground. I think on the feet, I think Paddy has a big advantage, if I'm honest.
Power advantage for sure. Definitely power advantage for sure. And then I think they're just different types of grapplers. I think sometimes Paddy gets a little bit careless with where he puts his hands. I think it's an age and experience thing. He isn't as patient sometimes as I think he needs to be. I think he definitely rushes through some stuff. And I think Jordan Levitt is one of those, he's one of those opportunistic grapplers where I don't see him setting up a lot of things and working through a system, but he'll grab a hold of something. And plus he'll do the splits.
I was just going to say, do you know what he's really good at? Do you know where he does the splits? He does the Titanic, and he's also a good little twerker.
Aleksander Rakic gives us an update when he expects to return to the octagon and discusses his recent ACL injury that took him out of action. Rakic sustained the injury in his fight with Jan Blachowicz at UFC Fight Night last month.
Unfortunately, I hurt a little bit my knee 3 weeks before the fight in a sparring session. And because I have such a good I'm very good on my legs, very strong. They're very, very muscular, and I have a lot of power. I went to the therapy after the injury, and after 2 days I was able to do basically everything normal. So I didn't expect that it was a serious injury. I finished my camp, and then in the fight it was so much stress, and like you said, I take basically a step back. It was not a contact, it was nothing. And when the step back, my knee popped. So my doctor saw the video and my physiotherapist saw the video, and they said, oh, there is something, because the ACL and the knee doesn't pop like this. It was a thing already, and this was the old injury. Yeah, I hope we will see. I hope I can get back end of the year or beginning of the new year. The most important thing is to be patient, because this kind of injury takes time, and this recovery process is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So that's the most important thing, to stay patient and to listen to the coaches, to the physiotherapy, and to the doctor. The improvements, what I see daily, that motivates me, and then especially in the fights, when I'm getting so close to the title fight, to the title shot, this is like a dream come true, because not so many people can do this what I do, and not so many people are not able to perform on this stage where I am. And
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library as we post daily all the latest UFC and MMA news. We'll see you in the next video.